Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic. It's Mike King here. You know what time it is. It is Origamic Solutions is in the house. Tim is here with us. Stacy, welcome back to the program, folks.
Thanks for having us.
To be here. So, all right, really quickly, tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. So we're Origamic Solutions. I had to Stacy gave me the nod to take it this time.
Take it, man. Run with it.
Origamic Solutions. So we're an operations management, advisory, and consulting firm. Our job is to provide accessible and affordable resources to our local business community so we can build a stronger foundation so your business can continue to grow, do all the positive things it does out in the community.
There you go. All righty. Stacy, who are you?
I am Stacy Goodman. I'm the founder and principal consultant of Origamic Solutions.
Okay. So we come into this totally scripted.
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And when you show up, I'm like, what are we talking about today? I had something that I needed to get started, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I asked you what you were talking about doing. So let's go to your part first. What are you here to talk about today?
So we are a consulting company that helps to our clients navigate to operational excellence. That is one of our taglines. But how we do that is we help you level up with love.
Level up with love.
And that's what we want to talk about is leveling up. And what is level up with love?
And when you walked in the door, what did I say I was ready to do?
Level up. Mike's ready to go.
I'm ready. So what this is going to be a two-parter right here. The one part we're going to talk about with Stacy and Tim leveling up with love. And then we're going to talk about the grand experiment. What we are going to do, because people know how the operation runs with me. We are the premier business media program in the market, but we sort of shoot I'd say shooting from the hip is putting it mild. We're fluid.
You are fluid. That is a very good word for you.
Yes, we're not, for folks who are from Pennsylvania, we are cattywampus.
All right.
That's sort of
zigzaggy.
Yes, zigzaggy. All right, so let's start out with leveling up with love.
Yeah.
What do we need to know today?
So one of the things that I was doing to improve myself is watch videos of different people who are ahead of me, right? Because you want to figure out where you're going and then figure out how the people got there. And one of the gentlemen that I listened to, Patrick David, had mentioned that life is like a video game. And it connected with me because I watched my husband watch YouTube and he likes Harry Potter. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm watching this guy play this video game. I'm like, that's like what we do. And so it made this huge connection. So as you play a video game, you go into the different levels and some of them are easy and you may collect superpowers, or in like Fortnite, you get the skins and different things you collect along the way, but you don't necessarily know all the things they can do with that superpower. The other is you may go into, like on a Mario, you may go into a world that's very vast that you can navigate, but you don't know exactly where you're going to get to your ultimate destination. There's no map on the video game that says, okay, just take a left here and go right over there. So back in the day, not him, there were magazines or books about video games, and you would go and you would read the book and it would tell you how to kind of get through the level or help you navigate a little bit, understand the level you're playing if you were stuck. Now you can go out on YouTube and there's tons of videos about different video games. But what I liked about the one that my husband was watching this young man play this Harry Potter video game was you got to listen to the questions he was asking himself and the thought process he was going through. He would explain, oh, I got this, or I could go in through this door and I could do these things. But sometimes he's just literally playing the game and you're listening to the thought process. But by listening to that thought process, you're learning how to change your perspective, how to analyze different elements that you may have not thought about before. And the same parallel is true with leveling up with sports. So you will start out, playing clump ball, basically little kids, basketball, soccer. You just watch them all chase each other around.
Yes.
And the ultimate goal is to get them to separate and play their own position, understanding their position. But in the meantime, they're learning to communicate. They're learning a little bit about their own personal skill sets and what they're good and not good at. They're learning how to handle defeat, handle success. They're learning to listen to people of authority and understand and respect that those people know something, right? So my son playing soccer, the most for him at that point in time when he was young was he played for kickers, and they would have the Richmond Kickers come and be the coaches. So they're playing for pro soccer players are their coaches. So there's a way to admire that, right?
Yes.
Then you go into he shifted over to basketball, and he played association rec ball. Then he wanted to play for high school, but he hadn't, because of COVID and other reasons, he hadn't made the middle school team. So he hadn't played actual competitive structured basketball. And we need to get him in with some coaches, some trainers to help him understand what he needed to do to go to that next level. And then when he got into that next level, he continued to work with trainers or go to camps where there were college basketball players so we went to U of R, and he had, what's the guy? They're both in the NBA now. The point guard, Jared.
I didn't know.
Anyway, both of I can't think of the name. One's a big center guy, and one of them is I can't think. It's a point guard up in, is it Minnesota? Not Timberwolves, no. It's one of the Grizzlies.
Memphis?
Memphis, yeah.
Not John Morant, is it?
I forgot.
No,
Anyway, stays what I wasn't, but my son was impressed, and it'll come to me later. The name's just off, but these young men, and he also went to VCU, and he played with the VCU players. They would come in, but having the people at that next level coaching you starts to help you move up. In the business world, we need to find, as we're ready to level up, and you can't do it until you're ready, which will take us to your part, right?
Yes.
Because you and I have been talking for a long time, since November. But it's when you're ready to make that move, then you go and seek the assistance, or you seek the additional education. Sometimes it's personal growth. Sometimes it's a professional skill set growth. Sometimes it's just introducing more formality, and there's a disciplinary growth there. And so what you need is somebody who cares, right? So I can hand you a book and go, here you go, Mike. This will help you with your scheduling. This will, read this. Or you go on LinkedIn and Instagram. I've got this free book, and you can get it in 7 steps, and it'll get you there. Well, it'll give you a framework, but then you need to figure out how to apply that to your environment.
Yes.
That's where we come in. That's how we help with love, is because we're investing. So let me ask you this. When you go and you eat, my husband, his mama makes collard greens, and his mama makes spinach and things like that my husband likes. I'm learning to cook on a lower level of the cooking capabilities. But I can take that recipe and make it the exact same way it says to make this meal for him. But it doesn't taste the same.
Right.
And a lot of Southern cooks are, Mama, how do I do this? Well, you just stuff this and a little of that.
A pinch of dash and yeah.
But it's more of, it's made with love. The food tastes good because it's made with love by the person who's making it for someone else. And they're tasting it, and they're testing it, and they're trying different things. And that's where the love comes in. So we're going to do that.
Okay. Yeah. So Tim, we had the conversation of an engagement with Origamic, and we said part of getting started is truthfulness, of course. Yes. And we said, how often are business people truthful with maybe they just don't want to out and night lie. Maybe they may be embarrassed because they don't have the foundation of what it should be. Or maybe they don't even know the question to ask.
Mhm.
So let's start off with the uh, the uh, the engagement with Origamic Solutions.
Sure. Yeah. When we first meet with a potential client or somebody that needs our services, the initial conversation is what we call our assessment, our pre-flight check.
Okay.
And it's really just a framework to understand where you're at. And the emphasis on the love part of leveling up with love is that there's no judgment. It's a fact. Here's where we are. We know we need to improve. And I want them to understand that when I first have that conversation, that my intention is just to help you. So I need all the best information. It's like going to your doctor for a physical.
Lying to your doctor.
Can't lie to your doctor.
What the people do when they say, "Do you drink?"
Yeah.
That's
Socially.
I know. I'm saying no.
Social
That's
drink.
right, because that is a tough answer.
Yes.
Do you ever have in your life? Well, you could be truthful, or you could go with the occasional.
Mhm.
What is occasional? Like a person says, affordable housing. Affordable is different to different people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So or occasional or social. So we have to be truthful when you say, "How are you doing?" Asking those questions. We need to level up.
Yeah, absolutely. Truthful and as specific as possible. Right? Like we said, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know.
Okay.
And that's okay too. I love conversations when I ask a specific question about an aspect of somebody's business. They say, "I'm not 100% sure." Thank you so much for telling me that.
Right.
Because now we can get to the root of the problem. Now we can actually get you the tangible things that you need that are gonna be important for your process of leveling. That's like the best option I can get.
All righty. So Mike is here. Tim, Stacy, they are Origamic Solutions. I am Mike King Biz. So now this is what we're doing. People have been to the studio, people who operate in my ecosystem, they know sometimes a system can be a little loose.
Fluid.
Fluid is what we're going with. We are working to change some of that. So we're going to put systems in place to take me to the next level. So it is going to be an engagement with Origamic Solutions. And so Stacy, we talked about, I am here. I'm trying to get there. Not exactly sure where there is. I just know it's down the road. So let's go with the idea of what people can expect with this evolution of Mike King and the steps that we're going to take to start moving me in that direction.
So the first couple of things we're going to do with you is figure out where are the major pain points in your day. You and we've had some conversations offline. One of the elements is around your capacity. Mike is only one person and can only be so many places at one time. And not only do you need to be here to be on the show with us, but then there are activities that have to happen after we leave to format the videos and get them to the radio station in their proper format out on social media, because these are the value adds that coming in here and recording with you are enticing to people, right? Because of the exposure, and then also just having the opportunity to exchange thoughts with you. So how much time do you have available? What is we call product mixes? So you offer time where people come in by themselves. You offer
Yes.
time when you come in with us, just like now. And then there might be other offerings that you offer, such as you go on site onto location and do interviews there. But that requires travel versus, so there are different levels of engagement and different levels of requirement of your time. So we're going to work first to start looking at your schedule and your product mix and get things and find out what we can and can't do. So when we engage with you as well, or any other client, we have what we've talked about, business maturity matrices.
Yes.
And those have, they have different criteria depending on what part of business. So there's a maturity matrix for documentation, there's a maturity matrix for finance, there's a maturity matrix for lots of, for the different elements. and one of them is scheduling and, throughput management. What does it take to produce the products that you and services you provide? And that's the area we're going to probably start with for you, is look at the production cycle.
Okay, so in media, there is a production calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started, I really didn't realize the value of the production calendar. It is something that, like a calendar, you
Mhm.
live and die with the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So, not just for me, how far down the road, how long would the end user, the public, start to see a difference in my activities? Would they notice it in a couple of months?
In a
or-
couple of months, I would say we need to, because it'll take a little bit of time, depending on it. It depends on how much time you have to put into the work as
Mhm.
well. We can give you the homework assignments, because you got to do the homework, right? Now that's the difference between advisory services and consulting services. Consulting services are when we come in and we do that with you and for you, because it's usually I don't have the knowledge or the skill set or the capacity to do it. So that's when you get consulting services. When you get advisory services, we're going to give you the home. We're going to walk through it with you for a couple of hours, a month, and we're going to give you homework assignments to do. So it depends on the pacing that you want to achieve that result, and to see the differences, and then how in depth and complex it is.
So you've been around me and you see how I operate. What do you think that people would notice, and there will be something that after a couple of months, if this is done right and we're on our Origamic Solutions track, what would people notice?
As a consumer, I would notice consistency across the platforms. I would be able to almost read you like a TV guide, right? Here's who's coming up on the shows. You're going to see the videos. You're going to see hear the radio show as well. So there's going to be consistent communication, clear communication of what we can consume. What they may not see, but will be important for you, is that we've aligned to some of your personal and business goals, because it's like an iceberg. You can see so much, but the majority of it is under the water, and you don't see, and that is opening you up to be able to expand your services, or develop the maturity behind the scenes in your business, and that will be more impactful for what you and your family see, as opposed to what the consumers see. Because I'm already seeing a lot more social media posts on a regular basis. I don't know how much effort that takes you to do that, because there's different ways. Tim's doing, getting ready to set ours up in a more automated fashion, so that, because I don't have the capacity to do all of
Right.
that.
And so mine isn't like that. Mine plays off of what people do,
Mhm.
that says I need to post. A lot of my posts are reactionary, as opposed to scheduling what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Because I think for me, so that may be something there, which is scheduling is the foundation for what the help that I need is the first step.
Mhm.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you've heard that. We're going to start with the scheduling, and that is the scheduling in studio. That is me engaging with people to come into the studio as well.
Mhm.
Tim, how can people find information out about Origamic Solutions?
Yeah, sure. So we're on all major social media platforms now. Instagram, Origamic Solutions. LinkedIn under our personal pages as well, Timothy Pisani and Stacey Goodman, as well as our website, which is origamicsolutions.com.
There you go. Stacey, words of wisdom for somebody they need to be doing right now if they're not doing from an operational standpoint.
What you could do right now, that's in alignment with what we've been talking about, is write down the pain points. What is bringing you discomfort, challenges, things that you might be able to dig deeper into, or listen to a business podcast that's asking questions and see if you have the answers. And if you don't, write those down, because that's going to start giving you a target list of what to go after next.
And how many whys is it to get to the center of the issue?
Center of the Tootsie Roll Pop is 5.
And when does it get to be problematic? At what number of why?
At 2, because
Wow, 2?
after 2, generally you now have to start digging deeper and really breaking things down and analyzing why it is. So if we were to ask you, Mike, why is it that
Why can't you get in the door sometime?
right.
Yes. Why? So I got that answer. That's one.
Right.
Then you ask me the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Am I as confident with the second one, or do I start to lose a little bit of steam with the second one?
Because the first why might be, well, I'm in the studio with someone else. Okay.
Boom, check.
But the next person's coming behind you. So why can't we get in the door? Well, I need to put in a process in place for someone else to let you in the door. So it's a staging area, right? That's where you can't just stop at, well, I'm busy. Or because I personally can't do it. Okay, but can somebody else do it?
That's the second one.
Why can't somebody else open the door for you? Well, and I don't know that this is true or not, but say there are, rules within the studio. Okay, well, why can't we talk about an exception process with the studio? And it gets you to a point where you're going to stop and you're like, I don't know the answer. Okay, well, that's where we get to dig in to see if there's an alternative solution available.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we offer here, solutions. Origamic Solutions, Mike King Biz. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks now.
Thanks.